Hey guys, it's going to George from TechLunar.com and Merry Christmas! If you're celebrating Christmas today, tomorrow or yesterday, I hope you enjoy this special day occurring only once every 365 days. And what's best to do in Christmas if you're on your own? Of course, make another video. And in this video, we're gonna go ahead and unbox an NVMe, and in this case we have a Western Digital NVMe SN550 with speeds of up to 2.4 gigabytes per second, and we're gonna go ahead and use it for an external storage device and compare the transfer speeds with an SSD. So let's have a look. Now, NVMe's have gained a lot of popularity recently on the market thanks to the very high speeds, and the price tag is not that much higher than a typical SSD. Nowadays you can find an SSD for about $100 and even less if you find them with a good discount, but NVMe's can cost about $130, $140, so it's not too much of a difference if you speak about the difference on the speeds. A typical SSD can transfer speed of about 500 megabytes per second, a better one about 1000, but an NVMe can have much higher transfer speeds of about 2.4 gigabytes per second. Now you're probably gonna say, wow, this is an amazing speed, you're gonna go ahead and buy a new one. But before you go ahead out of your excitement to buy an NVMe, it's very important to take a look at your computer, at the ports, and see whether you can benefit of the ultra high speed. So let's head over on my screen. And I want you guys to visit this article which I have written on the official TechLunar website. I know the title doesn't have to do anything with this video, but I have written a section of this article which is going to give you a better understanding of whether an NVMe is going to benefit of the ultra high transfer speeds. So let's scroll all the way down, and I want you to stop on here where it says does the port matter, and scroll a little bit here on this table, and here you have all the different USB ports that your computer may have and the corresponding transfer speeds. So almost no one uses a USB 2.0, so we're gonna skip that. So nowadays you're most likely gonna be using either one of those. So USB 3.1 first generation, if you use that, then you're not gonna benefit if you have an NVMe and you use it as an external hard drive. If you have 3.1 second generation, then yes, you will. But if you have a USB Type-C port on your computer, if you're using a MacBook, for example, which has only USB Type-Cs, then you're definitely gonna benefit if you have an NVMe. Although I don't write here NVMe, I need to update this article, so I'll include some NVMe recommendations. And if you're curious about how you're gonna go and check what ports you have, if you have Windows 10, then you're gonna follow these steps by going to the device manager, and then you can check in there where it says Universal Serial Bus. It's gonna tell you exactly what USB type you have in your computer. So if you have a Mac, then you have these steps. But if you have a USB Type-C on your Mac, then it's gonna look something like this. So as you can see, the port is a lot smaller and it's not like the USB duck shape that you know of. But of course, if you're looking to buy a new computer, then I will highly advise you to look one that has a USB Type-C port. And now it's time to go ahead and unbox the NVMe and show you firsthand how it looks like. But because we're going to use the NVMe as an external hard drive, you can easily do it by purchasing an external case. Now, you have to make sure that you purchase the right case for your NVMe model. In this case, this is the NVMe M2, so you need to make sure that the case is also supports NVMe M2. Please try to not purchase the wrong NVMe and the wrong case because they may not fit. So let's go ahead and unbox both of these bad boys and see how we can use it as an external hard drive. Alright, so first let's go ahead and take the NVMe and unbox it very quickly. Okay, so we have to be careful because it has loads of electronics on the top and circuitry, so we need to be careful on how we remove the boxes. So of course you have a user guide if you want to look into more in details for the circuitry, and that's the NVMe. Now I always encourage people to have clean hands before touching it, a clean mind, and make sure you be very gentle when you remove it. So hold it only on the sides, not on the top, just like that, very, very gently. gonna show you guys first look, and this is how it looks like. So it's very small, a lot smaller than an SSD. Like, look at that, like a lot smaller. And this is an internal SSD, by the way. So I can just go ahead and unplug the SATA cable to USB, and this is an internal SSD. So you see how much smaller the NVMe is, just like a memory slot. So this is how small it is. And I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna also show you on the back. On the other sides, we always touch it on the sides. And there we go. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it on the side now. So we're gonna go and unbox the case, which we're gonna put it inside. Because as we mentioned earlier, we're gonna use it as an external hard drive, not an internal one, because my motherboard unfortunately doesn't support an NVMe. So here we have the case. And the reason why I really like this case is because it has both USB-C and USB 3.1 generation 2. So that's a box here, right here. And I want to put the link in the description for both of these NVMe. So the NVMe and the box will be both down in the description. So that's the box. We need to take off the plastic and see how we can open it so we can put the NVMe inside. There we go. It's a bit heavy, but that's okay. But it's very strong. So it's definitely gonna keep the NVMe protected inside. Here we go. Just need to remove some of the protection stuff in there. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna put this on the side. So we're gonna open the cables right now, the USB stuff. There we go, exactly as I told you. Both USB Type-C to Type-C, USB Type-C to USB 3.1, second generation or 3.2. There we go, I'll put it on the side. And now we're gonna take the NVMe and put it right in here. So we have to be careful to see where the pins point. So I have to hold it on the other side. Let's hold it to avoid making any damage. I'm gonna put it right there. There we're gonna push. There we go. And then there's a small teeth right here. So don't push it downwards. Just use your nail and just press outwards. And then with your other hand, just press the NVMe downwards. There we go. And now it's secured. So secure right now, just like that. It doesn't fall. So let's take it and slide it into the box, to the case. Gently. There we go. There we go. So if you ever want to take the NVMe out, just press gently on here, in here, and then outwards, and then it's gonna slide out. Okay. And now, because I have USB Type-C, I'm just gonna take off the USB Type-C cable and connect it on the NVMe on the box. So let's go ahead and see that. All right, there we go. Awesome. There we have it. That's everything, and now everything is ready. Alright guys, now we have the NVMe ready. So let's go ahead and test it and compare it with my SSD, and this is the Crucial MX500, which is a great choice if you're looking to buy a cheap SSD and a very reliable one. So we're gonna go ahead and compare those two and see the difference. Okay, so I'm gonna plug in the NVMe on my computer. And as you can see, I'll get this message because I am connecting the NVMe for the first time on my Mac. So I'm gonna go and click on initialize. And although the NVMe is from Western Digital, If you expand a little bit, the list is gonna show Tech, and this is the company which produced the cover, the case for the NVMe. So that's the one, just gonna select it, and I'm gonna click on erase. I'm gonna name it as George's NVMe, so I can remember it. Format, I'm gonna keep it as exFAT, and I'm just gonna leave the scheme as it is. So I'm gonna press on erase. There we go, it was very fast. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick test. Okay, and I'm gonna go on File and select the target drive, and I'm gonna select the NVMe. Okay, I'm gonna press on Start. Okay, so here we have the writing speed, and this is the reading speed. Writing speed is when it stores information on the external hard drive, on the NVMe, and the reading speed is when it retrieves information from the NVMe. And here you have some examples. So, for example, you have writing and reading speed on a 4K footage with 30 FPS. So, will it work? Yes, but it may not work with 50 FPS and 60 FPS. So these are some examples, and here's gonna show you how fast it will be done in those softwares. And now, because of a bottleneck, it cannot support its full potential, and this is because we're connecting the NVMe externally and not internally. So don't be disappointed if you don't see the full potential if you connect it via USB Type-C, but I guarantee you that it's gonna be very close to 1 GB per second, and compared to an SSD, it's still almost double and even more than that, the speed of it. So now I'm gonna quit this Blackmagic test, and we're gonna go and transfer some footage from my computer to the NVMe. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna go to Movies, and I'm gonna just drag the top two. Let's drag them, drop them. So we can see, so we can get a glance of the real speed, transfer speed of the NVMe. So it takes about, probably gonna take 20 seconds to complete the entire thing, and with a speed of about 900 to 1000 megabytes per second. And that was really fast. However, I have to tell you that this really depends on the content you transfer. If you transfer a folder with, say, 1 million photos, this is gonna take a much longer time to transfer, not because it's a larger file, but because there's a lot of content in there to be copied and pasted. So don't be discouraged if you see slower speed than you're expected to. So now that being said, I'm just gonna go and disconnect the NVMe for now, and I'm gonna connect my SSD. Okay, so just gonna open that, and I'm gonna open the files again. I'm gonna do a quick comparison, just gonna transfer them first, the same ones. And yeah, as you can see, the speed may seem a little bit slower, but it's actually half the speed. It should take about 40 to 50 seconds to transfer these files, but again, the same concept applies. If you have a folder with loads of photos, it's gonna take much longer, double the time actually, to copy the entire thing. There we go, and just one more thing to quickly and test the SSD with Blackmagic disk speed test. So let's do this. Select target drive. I'm gonna choose the SSD, and then let's go ahead and start the speed test. Okay, and as you can see, we have speeds of about 420 megabytes per second, which is less than half of what the NVMe would perform with, and the reading speed of about the same thing, so 422-23 megabytes per second. And here we have the examples. So as you can see, less ticks are being checked. So 4K is not gonna work properly with 10-bit UI UV, but it's gonna work perfectly fine with ProRes 422 high quality. So now you can get a better image of how much faster an NVMe of 1 terabyte of storage will be compared to an SSD. Now, of course, both of the external hard drives are great. They have very high speeds, but if you have a Type-C USB on your computer, then you'll be able to enjoy much faster speeds, more than double the speed of what you do with an SSD. And one more detail that I want to say is that the NVMe will get hotter, faster, and more hot. Oh, one important thing I want to mention is that your NVMe may get hotter, faster than usual. So don't let that discourage you, because this is how NVMe's work. And second, if you see that it gets very hot, then just unplug it for a bit and put it on for a rest, and avoid putting it on hot areas. So for example, if you plug it into your computer, don't put it on the top of your computer, because your computer may get hot after a long use. Just put it on the side in a cooler area, just to avoid having any heating issues. And that's everything about this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me know if you like this video by dropping a thumbs up on the bottom right. Let me know in the comment section if you're considering buying an NVMe, and if you do, what model, and if you already have one, have you managed to find the enclosure that is needed to protect the NVMe and connect it to your computer externally. Let me know, and of course don't forget to share this with your friends. If they're looking to buy a new external hard drive, to tell them, nope, you're gonna get an NVMe, because they are much faster, and you can even find a good one for less than $100 if you have come across a very good deal or a discount. And lastly, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell right next to it in order to be the first person to watch our latest videos and updates. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'm going to see you in my next video.